Hi everyone, my name is John Aultman. I'm the International Director of Education for Colors by Gina, and thank you for joining me today for a class called Red versus Copper. These are two of my favorite colors, and I am excited to tell you guys about the differences and where you can use them and what they work best for. So some basics on red and copper. So red, of course, is a primary color. It is a deeper pigment, so when you actually make it black and white, the red shows a little bit deeper. So that's why it doesn't get as bright and reflect as well as the copper. Of course, copper is made with red and gold. So just like on your color wheel, you'll see the red and gold, and the middle will be the copper. Copper is highly reflective, and the reason for that is copper has the gold tone to it. Gold is a lighter pigment. So one cool thing about that is it makes the color seem brighter. So when you really want to see that brighter color, copper is a great choice for that. Also, red likes to stay a little bit deeper, around levels 5, 6, and 7, and copper would like to stay around 6, 7, and 8. That's where they naturally live in the hair. So today we are going to mix up some color, and I'm going to show you a wonderful technique with some color blocking that can be used for anybody's hair, but especially show some reflection in the red versus copper. So let's get mixing these formulas I'm going to show you today. We are going to use 7.6 and 0.66, which is our pure mixer. The other bowl I will have 843 and 0.44, which is another pure mixer. Now, these are only a couple of shades from our 60 shades that we offer. Of course, and one thing I love about being in a smaller area, I am in a suite, is that we have the smaller amount of color. I can make anything I want to just based on those 60 colors. As I'm mixing this, I am mixing it with a scale. The reason that I like to use a scale is because it gives you the exact end result every single time. I always say that scientists made this color and they tell us to mix it a certain way, and I'm going to do that. So I'm going to mix a 7.6 and mix up some 0.66. I'm starting off with 40 grams of the 7.6, and now I'm going to mix our pure mixer. One thing also is really cool in these, you can see they're color shaded. Also, it has your numerical and it has alphabetical. So any way that you're used to doing color, this is really simple. It's really going to make it easier for you as a stylist. So as I mix the pure mixer, these are pure color tone. So I am going to give about an inch of it. Our reds by themselves are nice and bright, so I only need a little bit to really kind of bring up that shine. One also important thing, when you are mixing color, you can see in there is my pure mixer and my color. Now if I add developer to that, it's going to make it a lot harder because the pigments start separating because of the pure mixer. So I'm going to blend these two first. And what that does, it gives me a very smooth color as I'm mixing the developer in there. There we go. And I used 40 grams of the 7.6. So I'm going to take our 5 volume, which is for demi-permanent because we are only depositing today. And I'm going to mix 80 grams. This is usually mixed 1 to 2. And watch how easily this mixes. It is a wonderful color line, just that mixes so easily and smooth. And it's super easy to pull through the hair, which is an amazing factor in my opinion. There we go, and you can see this beautiful red color. So that is our first color down. Now we will mix our 8.43 with just a little bit of the 0.44, and that once again is our pure mixer. I think a very important other thing to talk about, these are 3-ounce tubes. I love more bang for my buck. So when I get a 3-ounce tube for the same price as other people selling for a 2-ounce tube, it actually makes me kind of skip for joy a little bit because I run my own business. This is going to be the pure mixer. Once again, we're not using a ton because remember how bright these colors are. With this technique today, I will be using a mannequin. Now this is my mannequin from a previous class called Bronding. The reason I wanted to use her today is because how many times does a pure white blonde come into your room or into your salon and say, I want copper and red hair? Okay, of course it's a beautiful background for these coppers and these reds, but I want to make this more realistic of what's going to be in your salon. So on the ends, we have a 9.0, and on the root we have a 7.0. Both natural colors, just because that's what I did with the Bronding class. It's going to be very similar to how people walk into your room, maybe with some lightened ends and a deeper root. So today I am going to show you this technique on that type of hair color. As you can see, I did from the parietal ridge up. I'm going to take this off so you can actually see this. I have the parietal ridge up right on top. And with that, that's going to be one section. After that, I have the sides right above the ear, slanted back, and this is going to be section 2. Section 3 goes down into the nape. And then, of course, section 4 will be this right back here. I'm a person that likes nice clean sections, and the reason for that is because I want the color to be where I want it to be to give the best dimension and reflection of the color itself. So with this, I'm going to start right in this area, and the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to be cleaner and it's going to be more efficient as I work my way up. We're going to be using our 8.43 mixed with a 0.44. And you can see those blonder ends as we get down deeper. So that's going to give us a great reflection there. I'm going to apply this directly to the root. The cool thing about the 7.0 being on the root, this is going to give us a great dimension. So it's going to have more of the darker root with the brighter ends. A lot of times I would like to use a darker copper or darker red right there, but because it's right at that level, we're going to get a great dimensional just blend coming down the hair, and it's just going to be one color, and it looks like we've done two, but it's just one to make it easy. I'm going to pull this out of the way, and just for cleanliness, I like to use a foil right here on the first one. Pull down the next section. Make sure your sections are nice and thin for the reason that we want to make sure this color goes straight through. Of course, on a mannequin it's a lot less hair because there's less hair per square inch of the head. So I can pull down a little bit more than I would on a usual client. The other great thing I love about this color is our biotin complex. So biotin complex has these biotin in it, but it also has phytocollagen and baobab. So what that's going to do is repair the hair, nourish the hair, and give it just this amazing shine and help the color stay longer inside the color. I'm going to continue with my 8.43 and 0.44 down into the bottom section and into the other side. Now that I have finished putting in the 8.43 with the 0.44, we are going to go ahead and move into the next section right here. We're saving the top for last for the reason of cleanliness and just to make sure that all the hair comes down and I don't get it all over her beautiful face. So with this section, this is going to be the 7.6 with the 0.66 color pure mixer. Once again, I am going to go ahead and go around my section and get the roots done first. Keeping the other color out of the way with the foil really helps so that it's easier for me to have nice clean area to work. Now that we have finished the back, we're going to go ahead and move to that top section, which is the parietal ridge all the way around. This is such a large section, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it down the middle. And we will apply the 7.6 or 0.66 from root to ends here. Once again, we'll start at the root, right around the face, being very careful to try to keep it as clean as possible. The great thing about this color is it does come off the client very easily, right off the skin. So it does not stain as bad, and that is because of all the nutrients that we have in the color and the jojoba oils and the baobab. One other great thing about our reds that really sets it apart, our reds are nice and bright, but the other big thing about these, they have micropigmented. So what micropigmented clusters mean is that the color has multiple little itty bitty pigments that help grab around that cortex of the hair so that you get that color and it lasts longer. It stays inside the hair longer. Now that we have finished the first top part of our head, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next. Once again, I am just going to go ahead and get those roots done. And like I said before in the video, when the roots are a little bit darker like this compared to the ends, all that's going to do is give me better dimension. I always tell everybody, you know, anybody can color their hair at home, but they can't give themselves a dimension and the perfect formulation like we can here in a salon. One other great thing about Colors by Gina is we do have these wonderful brushes and our bowls. The brushes are one of my favorite things for the reason that they are nice and got plenty of bristles, but at the same time they're a little stiff, so I can actually get in there and make sure that I spread this color through very evenly. As you've seen throughout the video as I'm coloring, I will turn my brush sideways just to kind of bring it down, especially when I'm going through the ends. What that does is digs deep in there and makes sure that we get color dispersed evenly throughout the whole head. Another great thing with mixing, when you are actually weighing the color, not just eyeballing it like I know a lot of people do, when you actually mix it with weighing it, when you run out of color, you can go back and mix the exact same formulation. Because if you're eyeballing it, how do you know for a fact that this side's going to turn out the same as this side? So it's always great, once again, to weigh your color. Now we have finished putting the color on all over, and I am now going to wipe off her head right there where the color got on. Because like I said, you know how these will stain. Luckily on human skin, this color comes off very simple. Okay, now she is ready to process. She will process for 20 minutes because it's only our demi-permanent. Remember, it's only mixed 1 to 2, 20 minutes. If this was permanent hair color with 10, 20, 30, or 40 volume, it would process for 35 minutes and be mixed 1 to 1.5. Now the color has sit for 20 minutes, so we went ahead and washed her. I blow dried her and used the curling iron just to give her a little bit more of that curl. I always think that helps give a lot of dimension to the hair. As I pull this back right here, you can see the 8.43 and see how beautiful and bright that color is, and the 7.6 sitting on top. That color blocking underneath is really nice because if you want to do a hard part over, you see that a lot better with the red going onto the other side. But as you can tell, because of the color pigment of the copper, the pigment dye load is always lighter, so it reflects light a lot better. So what that does, it makes this color always seem brighter. So copper will always seem brighter than red just because of the lightness of the pigment. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and thank you so much for joining us today. I had a great time shooting this video for you guys, and hopefully you can join us again soon. We have these classes every 2 weeks, and once again, thank you for joining me. Have a great day.